Hello and welcome back to the channel. Amber here, and today I've got a little teaser clip from Matt Cawthon that I want to talk about because after watching this, I just have so many questions about Matt's storyline in season 3. So, like always, you can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky. Also, get a hold of me on Discord. I've got a server if you're looking for some people to watch the new season with. Also, if you would like to support the channel and help me keep the lights on, you can definitely find me on Patreon and YouTube membership. So, spoiler warning for The Shadow Rising and also I think The Dragon Reborn today. So books 3 and 4 of The Wheel of Time. So let's take a look at this little Matt clip here. So the first thing to point out is this is kind of like an advertisement, right? We can't be sure that all of these scenes that we're seeing in this little clip actually do happen on the show. So here, him sitting in this chair with it looks a very Aiel background. This is not confirmation that Matt is in the Aiel waste. Just getting ahead here. I want to point that out before anyone's like, aha, he's in the Aiel waste. Because in other clips we've seen last season, we had a little introduction of our Maidens of the Spear, and that was shot in Valon. They never had any scenes there, so this is very likely a similar situation. But this first little moment here, again, can't be sure if this is real or not. It looks real, but Matt hanging out in the open with the Horn of Valir, that's pretty brazen. But I mean, who knows, right? This might not actually be from the show. This might not actually be from season 3. But there's so many extras. I have a hard time thinking that they just shot this for a little advertisement. Let me know what you think. If you think this is real, if we're gonna see Matt hanging out of doors, posing with the Horn of Valir. I love this guy. I really want this for my wall. Also, also, did they make Matt like ridiculously ripped? Just in the drawing, like, yes, good sir, I will draw you a perfect likeness, a perfect likeness of yourself, Master Cawthon. He's so ripped. Okay, moving forward. I don't want to make this any longer than it needs to be. But I think this is likely going to be a scene from the show. Matt kind of
But at the end of the
fumbling
day,
around like,
I'm a simple man.
goofball, little goofy me. Look, knocking over all of these swords. What I love about this is because we've had somewhat of a confirmation from the showrunner that we will get the bow staff fight between Matt and Gawain and Galad. So I think this fits together with that. You can see the Andorran guard here in the background, similar to that little scene that we got in the teaser trailer where Galad is in the warder's yard and you can see this type of guard in the background. I don't know if it's the same guy, but same wardrobe, same costume, same Andorran outfit. And then we've got, some very kind of like flirty girls in the background. So maybe, yeah, Gawain and Galad are here. But what's great about this is if this is the scene that so many of us are waiting for, right? If Matt comes into the warder yard and he's just, he's goofing around, like he doesn't know what he's doing. This is such a perfect setup for the fight then, right? Because it'll be Gawain and Galad going into it super confident. Like, who is this guy? Look at him. He's a nobody. Look, he's dropping swords. I think if this is a scene from the show, it's like that's perfect because yeah, like that makes total sense to me. And it's just, it's like that charming Matt attitude where like he kind of just like falls into things and then he always has luck on his side. So yeah, I would love this. This, again, is it real? Is it just part of an advertisement? I don't know, but Matt hanging out with a novice, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But if like is that going to be a theme for this season? Like Matt just taking the horn of Valir with him everywhere he goes to get recognition. Like I could kind of picture him hanging out in places with the horn as kind of like, oh, like, yeah, getting free rooms and free board and free food because he's the legendary, horn blower. He's famous, right? I don't know, but like that feels awfully dangerous. But also again, if we go back to the Dragon Reborn, where he runs back into Tom, Maryland, right? There were instances in that book where some misfortunes happen to Matt, but because of his luck, he gets out of it. Like there's Matt's travels with Tom, or I think the highlight of Matt Cawthon for me, because that's the first time during my read through of the series where I was like, oh, okay, now I start to understand why so many people like Matt Cawthon. So, like, if we do get this kind of like braggadocious side of Matt where he is kind of like puffed up, like, yeah, like I'm kind of famous, I feel like that could fit, but it could also work in a way as if he's being reckless with the horn. And this is hypothetically, guys. I'm not saying this is what I think will happen, but I'm saying if it is what's happening, it could work because it could put him in harm's way and it could give us a way to showcase his luck getting out of these situations. So maybe it is something like that. Maybe he is really hanging out, traveling with the horn, doing Matt stuff, getting out of scary moments. But this, I don't know. A novice fake blowing the horn, that just feels fake to me. I don't know. We'll see. This feels real. This moment, it looks like all three of our young Emmons fielders doing a cheers, like coming full circle to where we started in season 1, where before everything happened in the Two Rivers on winter night, there was that scene in the wine sprain where they all have a moment of cheers. And I think this is a similar situation. This looks like a Rand hand. This beefy, good Lord, banana hand looks like it belongs to Perrin. So yeah, this could be a moment within Tar Valon, where things are good and we've got a little bit of a breather where the group can get to know one another. We have all of these new characters with Avienda and Bain and Chiad and Elaine. So maybe this is a moment of happy times before, pardon my French, shit hits the fan. If this moment is from this season, I would be very, very happy to see this. Okay. This is the big question for me. This is obviously some type of location where the sigil on the windows is representing the Lion of Andor. Could be Tar Valon. Could be. Could be Camelin. The thing is if it's in Tar Valon, that shouldn't really surprise anyone. But if this is Camelin, that feels surprising to me just because I don't think that we've had any indication that we're going to be spending a lot of time there this season. So if we do end up in Camelin, I'm really curious to know how that works in, and if it's more of a situation like from The Dragon Reborn where Matt ends up going there. He talks Tom into going there with him. Maybe this is a situation where he's going to Camelin with these characters. Maybe the whole group has taken the ways together and everyone gets dropped off at their waygate and this group ends up in Camelin for a short while. I don't know why they would be there considering Morghese has been in the White Tower. In the books, they go to Camelin because Elaine asks Matt to deliver a letter to the Queen, and that doesn't really work here in the show because the Queen was seen in Tar Valon, and, why would Elaine need to send word to her mother if her mother was just there? So I don't know about that. This is really, I don't know, very interesting, but we'll see how it plays out in the show. Maybe, the timeline is just very twisted and I can't wrap my head around it. But what I would really love to see is that if Matt does go to Camelin, he ends up crossing paths with Tom. And I think this could be really cool, right? Because we also have no word on what Tom's storyline is going to be in season 3. And we haven't seen any images of him. We can't place him anywhere, but I think the most likely place to see him is in Camelin. And I do think the show, rather than through dialogue, they'll actually show us Tom's relationship with Morghese, with the queen. And this could be a type of introduction into Tom's relationship with her or previous relationship with her, and introduce another character in the form of Gabriel that kind of like throws a wrench in this whole relationship, right? Something like that. But yeah, like thinking about motivation for Matt being in Camelin, maybe somehow the group gets word that there's a Forsaken lurking around the queen, and maybe like that's Matt's job, is to go warn Morghese about something like that. It's hard to say, right? Like what his motivations will be in the show because of the timeline being a little bit different. But I'm really curious what people think. If you've got some ideas, definitely drop them in the comment section. Something that would also work, now that I'm thinking about it, is that if Matt and Tom do end up traveling together because they meet in Camelin, this would be a good way to kind of push Tom back into his book art where they all end up in Tanchico. So yeah, okay. Bear with me for a second, because they're with Loyal, right? So if they're in Camelin, they all meet up with Tom. Loyal is with them, they can hypothetically jump back into the ways, and Loyal can drop him off at whatever waygate that he needs to. So I don't know, or maybe something like this happens and like we get multiple moments of fast travel through the ways where people are going and coming in many different places. But at this point, shouldn't Bane and Chiad and Loyal be with Perrin in the Two Rivers? Something to think about here. Unless they all start off together, it's hard to make sense of, right? Because shouldn't Bane and Chiad and Loyal be in the Two Rivers? And then we know Matt ends up in Tanchico. Yeah, maybe we just get a lot of jumping around in the waygates and that's it. Or this is just actually in Tar Valon, right? I don't know, guys. Yeah, so let's keep our fingers crossed that we get some more of these little teaser moments, hopefully with other characters. God, that would be so cool to get more than one. We can kind of like play detective together. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you got theories, let me know. It's great to see Matt. It's great to see some Maiden's Kiss. It's really good to be back on the season 3 train. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you back next time.